Today's Tuesday, May 27th, and we welcome you back to the Frozen Edge podcast, your home for picks, props, and parlays analysis beyond the NHL's betting market. He's Timo Seppa, former NHL senior hockey analyst. And Timo, an exciting game. You were on the money last night. Freddie Anderson gets put in net, a shutout 3-0 win for the Carolina Hurricanes. Taylor Hall did not get his point, the one that I was playing on yesterday. You called it out and said probably not your favorite pick.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a good pick, but Carolina gets life, now down 3-1, and Logan Stankoven is the guy for the Carolina Hurricanes right now. Also a shout out Jordan Stahl picking up the plus 850 goal that we talked about yesterday.
There you go. Yeah, no, Stankoven, I mean, I said this is a statement game for everybody in the Carolina lineup, the coach, the players, even the GM. And give them credit for being competitive. But I mean, if you're looking for a guy who's actually potting the goals the last couple of games, not an empty net goal, it's Stankoven. And I heard the announcers calling out lots of guys with having great games. Really, Stankoven is the one. He's doing what Carolina needs, which is putting the puck in the back of the net. So he seems to be a keeper, not like throwing shade at a ton of the other guys. I thought that Hall looked shaky, so I'm throwing a little bit of shade at him. But they need more guys like Stankoven to keep this up if they are going to push it yet another game.
All certainly had the chances to put a couple in, had a little bit of a case of the shanks last night. You predicted that this could go to 6 games, and now all of a sudden it's not unrealistic to think that they head home where they've been dominant for Game 5. What needs to continue for Carolina to find more success? That team we saw last night was a little closer to what we expected. That hasn't happened in the 3 first losses.
Yeah, and certainly we thought that the game was going to go 2-0, right? We had that play by Robinson that was just offside, and then made a great pass. So, Carolina maybe kind of sort of had a little bit more light there, but it's got to be more of this. I mean, Florida, this was a game where Carolina needed to bring everything, and by bringing everything, they were just a bit better than Florida. I think it's going to get harder every game to knock Florida out. Right now, what do I think about the next game? 50-50, but it is tough not to see Florida winning the series one way or another.
Tuesday night slate here. Edmonton takes on Dallas, another home game in Edmonton where Rogers Place was rocking the other night. 8 p.m. Game 5 start. Game lines, Dallas, the heavy underdog at plus 136, minus 184 to cover a 1.5 spread. Edmonton, the favorite, minus 164. They are plus 148 to cover the minus 1.5 spread. Over-under set high again at 6.5. The over plus 104. The under minus 128. And Timo, let's break into some stats we have our eyes on here. Since Dallas's 5-goal third period in Game 1, Edmonton outscoring the Stars 9-1 over Games 2 and 3. Stuart Skinner is a big piece of that, allowing just 1 goal across his last 2 starts, stopping 12 of 13 high danger shots in the second and third games. Let's start with Skinner and the factor that he's been. Pickard is expected to be dressed as the backup here, but they're going to give Skinner the nod again. Have you seen anything that would imply that he's going to let up?
I don't know, just track record. I mean, Skinner is, is he going to give up? Is he going to give up 0 or 1 goals, or is he going to give up 5 or 6? If you just tuned in, you're going to think that he is going to be a regular Vezina winner. Regular Conn Smythe winner, but he's been great, but you just don't know when when you're going to get one of those bad games.
2 players that have been stars Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Connor McDavid here in the Western Conference Final. Nugent-Hopkins, a goal and an assist in Game 1, goal and an assist in Game 2. 3 points all on assists in Game 3. For Connor McDavid, mostly assists. He had 2 assists in Game 1, an assist in Game 2, and then a pair of goals in Game 3. Those are two that we've got our eyes on. McDavid, with the 2 goals in Game 3, brings his playoff total to 22 points in 14 games. He's recorded multiple points in 4 of the 6 home games that the Oilers have played this postseason. He is minus 110 to pick up over a point and a half. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to have 1 point is at minus 164. Multiple points for him, though. Pretty good odds, plus 350. You think both of these guys could be primed to have good games here?
Yeah, I do. I mean, these guys are playing well. I think there's a lot of things to like about Edmonton right now. These guys have been clicking. The track records here would point towards these being good picks. Yeah, I like them both.
Leon Draisaitl, maybe another one to keep an eye on. 5 goals in the opening 7 games of the playoffs, but he's cooled off. Just 1 goal in the past 6 games for the Edmonton Oilers. Draisaitl had 24 of his goals in 35 home games this season, en route to winning the Rocket Richard, the NHL's leading goal scorer. He had 7 more goals this season than the next closest. That was William Nylander. Plus money at plus 105 for Draisaitl to pick up a goal. On the Dallas side, some struggles that we've been seeing, and specifically in road scenarios. The Stars have been shut out in their last 3 road games, dating back to Game 2 against Winnipeg. That is a pair of 4-0 losses in Games 2 and Game 5 of Round 2. And the most recent, a 3-0 loss, Game 3 of this Western Conference Final. Edmonton probably not going to slow down here either on home ice going into Game 4. Where does Dallas sit right now in a must-win game? You got to think trying to avoid going down 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, you need to figure that they'd be desperate, like quite not quite in the same situation as Carolina was, but they are in a desperate situation. That is a wild statistic that they've been shut out 3 times in a row on the last three road games. That does not bode well, and we're all the other factors that we'll talk about, the Hintz injury and whatnot. I will say that in their last game, they had a little bit of bad luck with that over the glass call. That was a real turning point when the game was it tied or 1-0 at the time. That was a real turning point. And if that had turned out a little differently, who knows how the game would have gone. All credit to Edmonton how the game played out, but the refs unfortunately played a part there. Regardless, I've got another stat here which probably compounds that bad stat that you gave. When we started this round with our Western Conference Final preview, I talked about how Edmonton had done since 2022 in various games and how they'd been worse in games 1 through 3 than games 4 through 7. Really, their best game since 2022 has been Game 4. They're 9-2 overall, but they have won 8 straight game 4s. So all of those numbers are not looking good for Dallas, and that's even without talking about the injury issues and so on.
Well, that turning point there, it was 0-0 and would have put Dallas on the power play. Then within 36 seconds after, bang, bang, it's 2-0 Edmonton. The Dallas power play, though, has been another one of their issue points. After Game 1, they have not scored a power play goal. Certainly going to have to find some success there against an Oilers PK that is shown to be beatable. But 2 key factors in that. Roope Hintz has been banged up on your newly coined the finish line,
right.
or bang bang with a pair of us. That wasn't what you wanted to go to, but Roope Hintz saying potentially he could be back, but he's not going to be 100% if he is, you would think. Another one, Wyatt Johnston, has not been having much success here in this round. Those 2 guys, what do you need to see out of them for Dallas to find success?
Yeah, I mean, if Hintz, if he's not healthy, he's not healthy, but that is a huge line for them. And you can get how just the communication between those Finnish players, literally and figuratively, how that is going to compound um, players that play with each other on the national team as well, so on. Um, that's a line that they need going. They need Hintz back for the finish line, and they need him back for the first power play unit. He's a key part of both of those things. But like I do like having those guys together. The question is, what's happening through the rest of Dallas's lineup? And you mentioned Wyatt Johnson, David Johnson on Twitter. He's one of the old guard analytic guys, much like myself. He tweeted out, pointed out that Johnson is minus 17 plus minus in these playoffs. And if that stays or gets worse, that's actually the worst of all time, which is kind of staggering. I mean, his points are solid, 4 goals and 4 assists. But you look at players like Johnson, Duchesne, and Ben. These guys are minus 17, minus 13, and minus 8. If you translate those into goals for percentages, these are players with 17, 18, and 25% goals for percentages, just abysmal goals for percentages. Players that were solid, 50% or better over the regular season. What's that mean? I guess it means that the mix isn't working really well. And I sure like those Finnish players together, but I do feel like it's on the coaching staff if there are lines that are sinking the team that just aren't working right now. They've got to communicate to those players to either be playing better, make less of a certain kind of mistake against such a dangerous opponent, or just change the chemistry by moving players around. I'd hate to break up the finish line, but I sure would see what they could do as far as shuffling the other lines.
And going back to the need for power play success, Wyatt Johnston's 8 points, 4 of them with 2 goals and 2 assists have come on the power play. Timo, closing it off here. Last thoughts as we look forward to Game 4 in the Western Conference.
I don't know. It looks kind of grim for Dallas right now. At least by the numbers, it would look grim if you're putting your money on something. Other than Dallas has their back to the wall money. I think the money's on Edmonton. The odds were that way as well. But this is why they play the games. So again, Stuart Skinner's been lights out for a few games. All right, let's see if that continues. So, we get surprised. So excited to see how it turns out on the ice tonight.
Injuries tending in the favor of Edmonton. Dallas, a couple guys banged up. For Edmonton, Matthias Ekholm nearing a return. Our picks tonight: Edmonton either on the money line at minus 164. If you want to get really aggressive, the minus 1.5 at plus 148. McDavid, the potential of over 1.5 points. A Nugent Hopkins anytime point, or multiple Draisaitl to pick up a goal. And we will find out tomorrow. Timo, it's been a pleasure as always. We'll see you tomorrow. This has been another episode of the Frozen Edge podcast. Follow us on YouTube and Spotify, as well as Twitter. Daily shows and tweeting out game by game picks to help you find analysis and stats analytics behind the NHL's betting market to craft your picks, props, and parlays. Also, shout out to Connor DeRue, who's been helping us along the way behind the scenes here. He's Timo Seppa. I'm Casey Ditzel. Until tomorrow, have a good one, everybody.